Hello everybody, Giselle Grenier here from artplace.ca. In today's video lesson, I'm basically going to show you what to do if you run out of raw sienna, or if you're doing a project and you need raw sienna and you don't have it. So the prerequisites for this is that you need to go through the limited palette videos to come to see what yellows, what reds, what blues, and all this stuff does. Without understanding color index numbers and all that stuff, this won't make any sense. You're just going to be copying and not learning anything. So what we're going to do, raw sienna is a nice earthy color. It's a single pigment, and this is Deco Art Traditions, and all the properties are on the back. It's PBR7, so it's a single pigment. You're never going to get a 100% match using two pigments to equal a single pigment. We'll get close. So what I've done is I've made up some notes already, because I've done this a gazillion times. When I need a go-to for raw sienna. Now raw sienna I use more for landscapes. Yellow oxide I use more for portraits. So what you use them for will be up to you. But I find if I need raw sienna, let's say I forgot it or something, yellow oxide and burnt sienna is a pretty good mix. So, and the reason I'm going to go this way is because I ran out of burnt sienna in the Traditions, and this particular one in the fluid acrylics is almost dried out. I didn't cap it properly, so I'm stuck. So I'm going to end up creating this exercise using primary colors. It's going to be a lot of work, but it can be done because I've already used the primary colors to make up yellow oxide and burnt sienna in another video. So we're just going to combine it. So if we take yellow oxide, and so we're trying to match to that, let's add a little bit of burnt sienna. Yeah, this is really dry. So let's see what we can come up with. Not quite brown enough. Going to take a little bit more burnt sienna. And I'd say that's pretty close. So let's do that. And we know, oops, I forgot. You got to add titanium white to see the true underlying color. And yeah, that's pretty close. Actually, I would say that's almost bang on. Does this mean I will replace raw sienna and just make it up myself? Oh, look, I got white everywhere. You know, it may be something I end up doing because I know that when I'm using raw siennas, I don't use it very often, and because I'm using yellow oxide more, and I'm finding that I'm ending up throwing out more of the paint than I'm keeping because I just don't use it. And it does end up drying. Oils, doesn't matter. I can keep the oils for years and years and years and years and years. Does not matter. Acrylics are a different story. So, what if we don't have, like for me, that burnt sienna is almost dried out. What if we don't have burnt sienna, and what if we don't have yellow oxide? Oh, well, this is going to be a little bit of work, but it's a good exercise for you to know what your pigment colors can do for you. The more you know about a pigment, the more knowledgeable you're going to be. Okay, so this is raw sienna made with yellow oxide and burnt sienna. So that's bang on. I'm going to get a fresh brush. I was even contemplating whether or not I wanted to do this part here because it's going to be a lot of work. But I'm not going to tell you to do something and not do it myself. Everything that I'm showing you, obviously on camera, I've done myself. I also have the Naphtha Red and Hansa Yellow Medium, just in case I can't get a close enough mix. So the first thing we're going to do to make up our yellow oxide, I'm thinking we're going to use more of the Hansa Yellow light and a speck of Naphtha Red light. And you know what? I need to make up more. I got to stop being so cheap on the paint. get something that's more of a yellow orange. And then, oh God, you gotta be so careful with that. And then we're gonna add some phthalo blue. This looks green on the palette because of the unstick mat. I did have a hit of that. There we go. So I'm looking at making up yellow oxide, and you know what I should have done? What I should have done. How are you going to know what I'm color matching, right? So we're going to color match yellow oxide and burnt sienna. So that's what we're color matching. And I've done other videos to show you how to make up yellow oxide using the primary colors and how to make up burnt sienna with that. So you can refer to those videos. And that's, let me make another swatch there. So that's pretty close. That's pretty close. I'm happy with that. So we have that, and really we should be adding white to see our true underlying color. It's a bit green, so I'm going to add a speck more red to that. So we're going to say we have that. All right, so now, where's my brush? To make up burnt sienna, same thing, but we're going to, now burnt sienna is more on the red side. So I'm going to take a little bit more red, and we're going to make something that's a bit more of a red orange. So we started off making more of a yellow orange. Now we're making more of a red orange. Ooh, too much blue, too much blue. And that's too orange, way too orange. Gonna add a bit more blue to that. And of course now it's too much blue. Yeah, so now I'm going to, is it? Yes. So a bit more yellow. A bit more red. I need to make up more paint. But you can get the formulas that I used to make that in the actual videos. There we go. Add white, see the true underlying color, and yeah, we're pretty close. All right, so the whole purpose of taking that and that to make what? To make that. So we made up our, so raw sienna, we want to make that up. I made raw sienna with yellow oxide, burnt sienna. Let's say I don't have yellow oxide or burnt sienna, so I use the primary colors. So taking a mix, my own mix of yellow oxide. Taking my own, oh man, I'm out. Shoot. Oh, you know what that means? I gotta make it up again. Okay, so we're making up burnt sienna. So red, yellow, blue. Two orange. Adding a bit more red and blue to that. Oh, that's close to a burnt umber. Whoa, that's close to a burnt umber. Yeah. That's close to a burnt umber. I'm going to add more yellow to that and more red. Okay, just need a bit more blue. There we go. Yep. All right. So we have that. All right. So taking the yellow oxide and the burnt sienna to make these two. Oh, did it dry out? I think it dried out. There we go. Better put that down on the paper. To see the true underlying color, we need to add white. Man, what's the term? I got away with that, but a seat in my pants or something. I don't know. Here we go. So we're good. Would I eliminate yellow oxide and burnt sienna? No way. This was a lot of work, but at least now you know how to. I'm gonna clean this up because I'm getting paint over me. Now you know how to, if you're stuck, that's the whole purpose. If you're stuck, what you can do to make up the colors. And now by cleaning that, when the phthalo blue went into the yellow oxide, or the raw sienna came up with a really pretty green, you could make a really nice green using yellow oxide and phthalo blue. But we already know we can make yellow oxide with the primary colors. So by using Hansa Yellow Light, Naphtha Red Light, and phthalo blue, you can make a really nice green. A really nice green using a limited palette. And if you're not convinced about a limited palette, do look up Zorn, Z-O-R-N, his palette. And you're going to be surprised exactly what colors he used for his totally famous paintings. And the colors he used will surprise you. So that'll be your adult homework for today. Well, no, part one of your adult homework. So I want to see how you make up raw sienna using the colors that you have. So make up your raw sienna using yellow oxide and burnt sienna. And then bonus points for you to make raw sienna using phthalo blue, Naphtha Red Light, and Hansa Yellow Light. Don't forget to add white to see the true underlying color. If you don't have these exact colors, see how close you can get using a blue, a red, and a yellow. The type of blue, red, and yellow, the blue is a blue that leans a bit more towards green. The red is a red that leans a bit more towards orange. And a yellow is a yellow that leans a bit more towards green. So that'll give you a good starting point to see, take those colors as your bonus points and see how close you can get to making up your raw sienna. Again, raw sienna is a color I use primarily for landscapes, where yellow oxide, I use that more towards for portraits. Would I replace those by mixing them up myself? No, because it's a lot of work and they're more inexpensive pigments. Now, if I was using, let's say, in oils like a cadmium red, which is probably one of the most pricey, then yeah, I would try to mix something up myself, using Naphtha Red or something like that. Even a cerulean blue in oils is very expensive. You can take a phthalo blue, white, and a speck of phthalo green to come up with something close. Okay, so you're going to take 3 inexpensive pigments to make a match for one very, very expensive pigment. And I'm not talking about $10, $12. I'm talking $30 and $40 for a tube of paint. So I think that's worth mixing it up myself. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave you with this. I would like to see your color charts. Make notes so that way other people who are stuck can kind of feed off ideas. And if you have any questions regarding this specific lesson, please post them in the comments below. I read and answer every single comment. And so there's 3 homeworks for this. The homework of creating raw sienna with yellow oxide burnt sienna. Then the second homework is creating raw sienna using primary colors. The third homework is to look up the master artist Zorn, Zorn, and take a look at what limited palette he uses, and post that in the Facebook group too. And let's share some ideas of, it's going to blow you away what his limited palette was. And then look at the paintings that he created, and it'll just surprise you what you can do with very few colors, but it's the type of colors that he used. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave you right now and clean up and prepare for my next video. So until I see you then, stay inspired.